Hello my cubs and welcome back to another episode of the Bear Bar Tales. It is I, the one bear that may have begun life as a sentient starfish who wished really hard upon, well, another starfish to be the most beautiful version of myself I could. And now here I am, the Bear Bard. You're welcome. I know, bear sighting. I apologize. I made a community post about it, but I never put it into a video, so for the next month or so, I'll be a bit sparse. I am moving across the country and it takes a lot of work with a family. So for the next month and a half, I won't have my main recording setup or even my computer, which is why this may feel a bit different, but I promise to still try to keep up the level of quality. I am incredibly lucky in that Mr. Artificial DM himself is helping me edit down my audio, which is huge. Shout out to him. Make sure to check out his channel if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Now, I realized that I never gave a final date for the art competition going on. As a reminder for the Bear Bard in Space art competition, you can enter by having the channel followed and submitting your original art depicting the Bear Bard in a sci-fi setting to either the contest email below or in the contest channel on my Discord server. The setting can be from an established universe or your own creation. I have been blown away by the entries so far and I hope to see the others. I even got one the day the video was released. The final day for turn-in will be July 26 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. I know it's a long time, but I didn't want to rush anyone, and honestly, I'm crazy busy. Also as a reminder, this is the dice set from yourwizards.com you can win. Before we get started, if you like this type of content and you want to hear more from the Bear Bard, make sure to like this video and give the channel a sub. Every sub I get gets me one step closer to crashing a Den of the Drake video. Maybe I'll even get something from his horde. Now, with all that out of the way, we can jump right into today's story titled Proficiency in Gaslighting, or How a Player Tried to Turn the Party Against Me Because of Scheduling Issues. TLDR, player tries to gaslight me in group because she couldn't stand not being part of every session. This story takes place over 2 D&D campaigns, with a focus on the second campaign as that was when I joined. The key figure of this story besides me is the problem player we'll call Janet. So, without further ado, let us discuss gaslighting, maybe gatekeeping, but definitely not girlbossing. I had wanted to join these campaigns for a while, as everyone involved was a close friend. I was initially turned down as the party was full, but 6 months later, the DM mentioned that one player was meant to rejoin for campaign 2, but didn't follow through. I asked again, and the DM got universal approval from the party for me to join. At one point in our conversation, I tell the DM I can't make one of their 2 usual playdays because of life stuff, but I was more than happy to not be a part of every session. I mention this because I had apparently dragged up an old argument in the group. At some point in the past, the barbarian had a sudden scheduling change of their job, and the group couldn't sort a day to play because Janet had hobby activities she does on literally every day except the usual playday. Janet refused to change her schedule even slightly, telling the rest of the group to compromise. You can really feel the irony radiating from your screen there, can't you? Some members of the group said they were fine not being involved in every session, which prompted Janet to send a 3-page notepad rant to the group, stating that she felt as if she was the only one who cares about everyone being included, and repeatedly stated how important the group was to her. Apparently, the initial solution for this was to have 2 campaigns run on the same day and time, depending on who could play, but was rightfully thrown out for being an insane solution to a simple scheduling issue. Here we go with scheduling issues again. I get it. As a dude in his 30s with a family who's had to either decline invitations or bow out of campaigns because of schedule, it's really tough. But you can't, I repeat, can't just strong-arm the whole group around you. If you have hobby stuff preventing you from other hobby stuff, first, realize how lucky you are. And second, realize that you may have to put one hobby thing to the side for another, or take time to move it around. Especially when you have someone who has a work commitment. It doesn't matter how much you love D&D, having a roof over your head is far more important. You can tell just how freaking pampered some people are by how irate they go over being minorly inconvenienced in any way. I especially hate when she hides it behind an altruistic mask. Oh, I just care everyone gets to be there. Like, get the fuck out. Despite this, I was excited to be a part of the campaign. So you can imagine my confusion when the rogue tells me that she's annoyed that I've been pressuring the DM to let me join. Let me reiterate that there was a 6-month gap between the 2 times I asked to join. Apparently, Janet had been telling Rogue how worried she was that I was pressuring the DM and that she was really feeling emotions. I still have no idea what this means. Janet also did a group call with herself, Rogue, Monk, and the DM to sort out the issue. The DM immediately shut the call down, stating that I had done nothing wrong. But Janet wasn't done. Far from it, as she would repeatedly bring up the issue about me joining. Apparently one of Janet's issues was that in a campaign from years prior, a random player joined and acted really creepy to her. She told this to the DM, implying that me joining was triggering her trauma. I'm not denying whether the story Janet told the DM is true. That's not my place. However, what confuses me is that I'm not a random person to Janet. I've known her for 3 years and I played in one of her campaigns in the past. In addition, the ranger of the group joined the same way I did, joining in the middle of campaign 2. But Janet was happy with them joining and had no issues whatsoever. At one point, myself and some other players realized the reason why Janet was so opposed to players missing sessions was because it would set the precedent that it's okay to have sessions without a full party. And because I said from the start I was okay with missing out, Janet tried to stop me from being included by lying to my friends that I had been pressuring the DM, and attempting to gaslight me into thinking I had done something wrong by asking to join. In short, this whole mess happened because Janet couldn't stand occasionally missing sessions. The confrontation. After myself and some other players realized what Janet was doing, we decided to organize a group discussion, as the events were affecting us all so much that we were all considering dropping out. We spoke with the DM and agreed to approach this maturely and not to act childish. When the time came, we stated clearly to the group that we didn't want friendships to be affected, but some problems really needed clearing up. Janet deflected everything we brought up and blamed literally every problem on university stress and other vague outside factors. She once again tried to guilt trip the group by saying how important the campaign was for her mental health, to which the wizard said if it was so important, what she really needed was therapy, not D&D. We also made the point it was unfair of her to effectively treat the campaign and players as therapists. So I think this right here is something super important that a lot of people newer to the hobby have a misconception about. D&D can be a fantastic way to relieve stress, have fun, and really be a boost to your mental health, like any hobby. The problem comes in that people hear how great D&D is for their mental health, and use it in place of a therapist. First off, most tables are not filled with therapists. These are other normal people who came here to have fun and forget about reality for a bit. And even if they are therapists out of the game, they're off hours. Let them relax from their day. Second, that's so much pressure to put on people. Everyone at that table has had to go through their own day too, filled with their own stresses and hurdles. It's not on them to take care of you. Now, friends help each other out, sure, but with this kind of thing, there's a time and place. Look, mental health is super important. Everyone needs help. Go find it. There are resources out there. Don't dump that on your D&D group. During this, I mentioned how these events made me feel very unwelcome, and that I was considering dropping out when I hadn't even been in a session yet. Janet took this into consideration by completely ignoring what I said and talking about how her mental health had been struggling for many years. And now she feels like her safe space is being breached. I have no idea if she was referring to me with that, but she logged off immediately after saying it, so we didn't get a chance to address anything. The confrontation ended with the DM putting the campaign on indefinite hold for the sake of preserving friendships. The end? The story has a happy-ish ending? I'm now in a great campaign alongside some great players, and the events have given us plenty of in-jokes to throw out during sessions. However, Janet is now guilt-tripping Rogue about the fact that the latter is in a campaign, but Janet is not. Janet is also completely oblivious as to why the campaign ended and believes she just has bad luck in D&D groups. If there's a moral to this story, it's that if every TTRPG group you're involved in falls apart for reasons you don't understand, it's worth asking if you're the problem. She went with the classic, everyone's to blame, not me. Like, some people just refuse to take responsibility for anything. On top of just being absolutely annoying for everyone around her, it's also really sad. The thing is, failing and taking responsibility is how we grow. How can you improve if you believe that everything you do is perfect? Growth and improvement is life. I mean, not to get philosophical here, but honestly, what's the point if you have nowhere to go? As many of you know, I coach. I've coached for a long time. And one thing I've told every player who has played for me is that in life we have two choices. We can choose mediocrity, to stay where we are, maybe comfortable but you never excel, or we can choose to reach for greatness. You can choose to step out of your comfort zone and be great. Are we all going to play ball like Michael or paint like Da Vinci? No, but by choosing to reach out for greatness, you're choosing to be better than you were, and tomorrow being better than you are now, and that is being great. Now, how do you improve if you truly believe you have nothing to improve on? This frame of mind is so dangerous. Be humble and be better. Sorry, with the move, I'm not able to coach this year for the first time in a long time, so it's been building up. The one other point I want to make is also a callback to a few weeks ago, and that's friends should never be talking about other friends behind their backs, at least not bad things. I'm sure, like in all stories, there are other sides to it, but once these people in the group heard Janet from accounting talking about OP, they should have shut it down right there, or at least given OP a chance to respond. Keep people around you that have your back, not ones that are going to stab it. But that's enough of that. For now, let's go ahead and jump into the Bear Bard's Cave of Art and Wonders. This week we have what is actually the Big Bear tier art for my Ko-Fi made by the super talented Discord user Lavender Fairy Tale. Here we have the Bear Bard welcome you to the campsite, maybe for a drink and a story. He may also hand you a free sticker when you stop by. I love how this one turned out. She is super talented and you can even commission her for your own projects. But for now, Bearfacts. The cave bear, or Ursus spalaeus, is the prehistoric species of bear that lived in Europe and Asia during the Pleistocene, often referred to as the Ice Age, and became extinct about 24,000 years ago during the last glacial maximum. Both the word cave and the scientific name spalaeus are often used because fossils of this species were mostly found in caves. This reflects the views of experts that cave bears may have spent more time in caves than the brown bear, which uses caves only for hibernation. Cave bear remains have been found in England, Belgium, Germany, Russia, Spain, Italy, and Greece, and the animal may have even reached North Africa. They believe cave bears weighed from about 880 pounds to 2,200 pounds, the largest cave bears being comparable in size to the Kodiak bears of Alaska and the polar bears of the Arctic. The head was very large and the jaws bore distinctive teeth, which suggests the animal was largely vegetarian, probably something Bethesda forgot about when programming their cave bears in Skyrim. Now, I want to thank you all for sticking with me till the end. It means a ton to me, especially right now where everything is so chaotic. If you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure to like the video and give the channel a sub. If you want to help support the channel further, you can check out my Ko-Fi where you can sign up for a membership or a one-time tip. If you want to check out the Bear Bard in other forms, you can check out my Discord, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. You can also check out the Bear Bard Tales podcast available pretty much anywhere. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to my Ko-Fi subscribers. At the Bear tier, we have Armandeus, Skydiving Ellen, and Dave Haggerty. At the Mossy tier, we have Novatonics and Reuven Gritters. Thank you all so much for your support. It means more to me than you know. For now though, this has been the Bear Bard. Remember to stay kind, stay beautiful, and keep on living that bard life.